in the 2015 Utah Elite Eight basketball tournament on highschoolrewind.com. I am Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us on our matchup, the American Fork Cavemen and the Mountain Crest Mustangs. Welcome, everybody. So glad to have you along with us. Got a fun two 5A teams, Region 5 versus Region 4 in this tournament, and a chance to see the host team, the American Fork Cavemen. Last year in this tournament, it was a tough performance as they lost to a Cache Valley team a year ago and trying to repeat that. A lot of talent coming back for Coach Doug Meacham. Of course, you know about Brendan Bailey, a man committed to Marquette, but it's Spencer Johnson that's averaging nearly a triple-double in the early part of the season for Coach Meacham. Number 32 committed to Weber State. He's been an outstanding player. He's been starting since he was a sophomore. Brendan Bailey, we know he's been starting since he was a freshman, been outstanding. He's playing a lot better. It'll be fun to watch him in this tournament. And when you look at Mountain Crest, you have some football players we're going to talk about, but it's about Zach Smith. The 6'2 senior, plays very, very good basketball. Coach Grady Buckmiller and the Mustangs looking to build off what happened last year in 4A, now moving to 5A in Region 1. This is the start of that, of them getting good feelings, getting things moving forward as they're going to try to contend within Region 1 in the 5A classification. Well, you know, some players and a couple of keys. When we come back, the opening tip-off, you are watching Utah Elite Eight basketball tournament on highschoolrewind.com. Sent to jump it, and it's controlled by Spencer Johnson. Ball knocked out of bounds, and will stay here. Bailey to trigger. Gets it in. Up top now with Braden Conde, pardon me. It was Jake Whitehead send out to Brendan Bailey. Crossover, series of moves. Bailey short on the J, and a rebound tracked down by Kyle Nethercott. Down the lane, off the window, won't crawl in for Jackson Brenchley. And Brenchley gets the board, can't finish on the steal. And it's back down the floor, Brendan Bailey. Bailey gets called for a carry, turnover, and will go the other way with the Mustangs. Back down the floor. High post, Judd comes down, try to poke it away. Nethercott up top to Brenchley. Brenchley terminates. Nice find inside, Damouni, and Damouni lays it up and in. That's Lavani Damouni, a junior. And back down the floor, lob inside to Bailey. Bailey blocked. Big block by Nethercott. Damouni hands back to Jackson Brenchley. Brenchley bringing up the floor. Brenchley jumping, and it's blocked by Spencer Johnson. Benji Judd on the push. Judd down the lane, right hand, and finishes. 6:15 remaining in the first, all tied up at 2. Brenchley to Jensen. Jensen going on Conde. Loses the handle, goes up, and a rebound taken by Whitehead. Whitehead ahead to Johnson. Johnson give it up to Judd. Judd to the rack. Damouni with the block. I got a foul. So a little late foul. I think it's the right call. It'll be a foul on Lavani Damouni. It'll be 2 free throws coming away. Benji Judd. Misses the second as well. Johnson with the board. And we get a foul on the going back up with it. We'll see who it goes on. And that one goes on Damouni. So Spencer Johnson hits the first. And the second. Mentioned a young man's heading to Weber State. Been outstanding for Coach Doug Meacham since his sophomore year. Down the floor now with the Mustangs. Apologize, we don't have a number 3 on our roster, and we got to travel. Change the pivot feet. Johnson to Judd. Outside Conde. Now Spencer Johnson. Here's Brendan Bailey. Mentioned American Fork. The tough Utah Elite Eight was a really good year for the Cavemen after Utah Elite Eight, as Johnson probably fouled on the bucket. Doesn't get the call, but gets the hoop, and it's 6-2. But we're shockingly bounced in the first round of the state tournament after claiming the 2 seed a year ago. Outside, handoff to Brenchley. Brenchley down the lane, send out. 3 on the way from Jensen off the mark. Rebound still loose. Claimed and scored by Kai Nethercott. And it's 6-4. 3 on the way from Condi. Won't go, and Bailey's putback dunk wouldn't fall. On the push now, Nethercott. Nethercott inside. And we got a foul on American Fork. Condi frustrated. That'll be 2 free throws. Dustin knocks them both down. Or part 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Game 3 here on the opening night of the Utah Elite 8. Judd along the baseline. Whitehead floated up, well short. Rebound claimed by Wallentyne. Up the floor now, Brenchley. Brenchley. Kick out, Wallentyne. Now to Tanner Schwab. Now we got a foul on the floor. Quickly in. Wallentyne, cross court, 3 on the ways. Off the mark, rebound taken by Brendan Bailey. Bailey on the push. Inside Whitehead. Johnson, cross court to Condi. A deep 3 from Condi. And a rebound taken by Johnson. Now Benji Judd. Johnson thought about 3. Heart of the hole. And Spencer Johnson.
Spencer Johnson for 2.
And it's 8-5, American Fork. 3 on the way off the mark from Wallentyne. Whitehead with the board ahead to Judd. Johnson. No call on the bump. And it'll be inbound along the baseline. Bailey into Condi, up top to Judd. Bailey. Fall away jumper off the mark. And the rebound claimed by Jensen. And a ball picked up by Whitehead. He'll pull for the long range 2. And a rebound taken by Brenchley. Brenchley fouled by Bailey. And that will be the 3rd team foul on American Fork. Oh, nearly backcourt. No call. But Brenchley nearly turned that ball over. But here we go. Brenchley loses the handle. Now on the floor, and we've got jump ball. And a possession that belongs to Mountain Crest. Jensen to trigger, gets into Brenchley. Brenchley challenged by Judd. Nice closeout by Whitehead. Jensen can't finish at the rim. Nice job by Wallentyne, keeping that ball alive. And Theron Wallentyne makes it a 1-point game, 8-7. Whitehead for 3. Off the mark, and a rebound grabbed by Wallentyne. Wallentyne ahead to Schwab. Schwab, cross court to Jensen. Jensen pirouette in the lane, left hand short. And it's Judd with the board. Benji Judd on the push. Pull up Jay off the mark, and a rebound taken by Tanner Schwab. Schwab. Here's Wallentyne, left hand short. Bailey, quick up the floor. Bailey goes at Smith. Trapped on the baseline, that's out of bounds off of Mountain Crest. Quickly into Johnson. Johnson for 3, and Johnson knocks down the triple. And it's now 11-7. A lot of people talk about Bailey, but Spencer Johnson makes his team go as Tanner Schwab answers on the other end. And it's 11-10. Condi up top to Brimhall. Johnson in the corner to Condi. Brimhall cross to Bailey. Bailey, nice look by Schwab, sends it ahead. Brimhall will track it down. Quickly up. Johnson on the move with the 3, can't get it to go. Brimhall nearly came away with that. Rebound to Smith up the floor now with the Mustangs. Schwab off the glass, can't finish. Gets his own board. Now Smith up top, Brenchley. Brenchley, just a junior. Pass off the mark, tracked down by Johnson, but out of bounds. Will stay here with the Mustangs. Down the lane, can't finish. And out of bounds off of Mountain Crest. We'll take a rest for Coach Buck Miller. Of course, Grady Buck Miller was a multi-sport athlete back in his day at Carbon High School. Johnson! Spencer Johnson from way outside. And this will count if it goes. And that'll do it for the first quarter. End of one. American Fork 14, Mountain Crest 10. Start of the second quarter, and we will start with the Cavemen. First quarter was about Spencer Johnson. Couple of trays, had 8 points in the quarter. Brimhall, a log jam at the top of the key. Gets it out to Johnson in the corner. 3 on the way, and good. Dallin Hucks from downtown. And it's now a 7-point lead for the Cavemen. Mountain Crest down the floor. Schwab outside to Jensen. Wallentyne up top, hands off to Jensen. Will reset the offense for the Mustangs. And Schwab lost the handle, and it's a turnover, and we'll go back to American Fork. Tough start here for Mountain Crest. Having a hard time just getting into some rhythm. They made a run in this ball game, got it down to 1 point, but since then have not been able to get back on the board, give it up a 6-0 run to American Fork. Here's Spencer Johnson. Now Brendan Bailey. Hucks thought about 3, gives it up to Johnson. Off the mark, out of bounds off of the Cavemen, and we'll go the other way with Mountain Crest. Floor was Schwab, outside to Brenchley. Brenchley, Schwab for 3. Tanner Schwab rips the nets from downtown, and it's 17-13. Bailey down the lane to the cup, can't finish. Out of bounds off of American Fork, and we'll go back to Mountain Crest. Schwab down the floor. Chance for Mountain Crest to continue to cut in this lead. Brenchley kicks out Wallentyne. Up top to Schwab. Cross court to Dunstan. Brenchley back to Dunstan down the lane. Dunstan can't finish. And the ball's popped out of bounds. And we'll go with American Fork. 5.5 remaining here in the first half with AF up 4 points. Hucks over to Bailey, working around the perimeter. Here's George Brimhall, lob it up to Bailey. Nice job of Wallentyne of boxing him out on the lob. Dunstan at Hucks, swatted by Brimhall, but we got a charge. That is the 3rd personal foul on Dunstan. Hucks hands back to Johnson. Johnson around Brenchley, no call on the contact. The rebound still loose, taken by Brenchley. Brenchley ahead to Schwab. Schwab gets around Hucks and got him with a charge. Thus the whistle. 15th foul on the Mustangs. 4:35 remaining in the first half. Up top of the Hucks, now over to Condi. Brimhall. Condi for 3. And it's in and out. Rebound taken by Brenchley. Jackson Brenchley into the front court for Mountain Crest. Is bumped at the top of the key by Brimhall. Be the 4th team foul on American Fork. And the first on Brimhall. Smith. A series of moves, got to shoot it and scores. It's going to be 3 seconds or a bucket, and Kai Nethercott got the bucket. And it's 17-15. Up top now, Braden Condi. George Brimhall along the baseline. Hucks to Condi. Up top, Johnson. Johnson outside, Hucks looking for his second three. Too long. Johnson can't hang on to the board. Smith comes away with it on the push. Smith holds up, gives it up to Brenchley. Brenchley down the base to the cup and finishes. And we're tied up at 17. Timeout, Coach Meacham. 3:40 remaining in the first half. And the Mustangs on a 7-0 run. We're all tied up at 17. It's out of the timeout for Coach Meacham. 3:35 remaining in the first half. Condi. Now to Brimhall. Brimhall trying to get into Bailey. Stolen by Wallentyne. Schwab can't track it down. And we will go back to the Cavemen. Condi in the corner to Johnson, up top to Benji Judd. On the angle now. Bailey scoreless thus far. Didn't get one there. Ahead, Brenchley. Brenchley send out to Nicholas Nethercott. Now up top to Wallentyne. Theron gives it up to Brenchley. Brenchley to the hole and one. Nice take and finish by Jackson Brenchley. And Mountain Crest takes the lead, 19-17, and it's a +1 opportunity for Jackson Brenchley. Back rims the free throw, and it's a 2-point lead. 2:45 remaining in the first half. Condi now to Johnson. Johnson for three off the mark, and the rebound taken by Brenchley. Goes the other way, can't finish. Contact, no whistle. Johnson on the push, and then a foul on Tanner Schwab. And that'll be the 16th foul on Mountain Crest. Will inbound near side. 2.5 remaining in the first half. Judd, Condi back to Judd, now to Bailey. Brendan Bailey scoreless here in the first half. Taking a lot of shots, just hasn't been able to get him the fall. Standing in the corner. And there's the call. And a foul will be called on Kai Nethercott. Bailey back rim the first and hits the second. Two minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the half. And it's Mountain Crest 19, American Fork 18. Smith up top. We got a foul away from the ball. That'll be the 16th foul against American Fork. And we'll have free throws going both ways for the final 2:03 of the half. Smith inbounds to Brenchley. Brenchley in the lane. Along the baseline, Wallentyne with the fake, then blocked by Bailey. Spencer Johnson comes away with it. Here's Judd in the corner to Condi. Condi. Brendan Bailey for three, won't go. Rebound. Claimed by Nicholas Weathercott. Now ahead to Tanner Schwab. Schwab gets the bump, can't get the bucket. He'll go to the line to shoot two. Now be the 17th foul on American Fork. And the foul goes to Braden Condi. As Schwab misses them both, and the rebound to Nethercott. Out to Brenchley. Brenchley will pull up inside the arc and hit. Jackson Brenchley gets the board and bucket. And it's 21-18 with 1:18 remaining in the first half on an 11-1 run with a 21-18 lead with 1:15 remaining in the first half. Benji Judd in the corner. Johnson for three. And Spencer Johnson's third triple. And we're tied up at 21. Brenchley pulls and hits.
18 Coach Jackson.
Brenchley having himself a first half. Mistakenly talked about Zach Smith. Not to say Zach's not a good basketball player. Brenchley is the leader as Spencer Johnson and Brenchley now trading blows. Tied up at 23. 35 seconds remaining in the first half. Brenchley working on Whitehead. Terminates long ways away from the hoop. Nethercott hanging on. Nick puts it on the floor. Terminates, sends out to Zach Smith. Up top now with Tanner Schwab. 15 seconds now on the clock. Schwab to Nethercott. Nethercott fouled by Whitehead. It'll be one-on-one free throws for Nicholas Nethercott. A nice closeout to the half for Mountain Crest. Nethercott knocks them both down, and it's 25-23. 10 seconds. Benji Judd hands back to Brennan Bailey. 5 seconds now on the clock. Bailey. 4-3. Back rimmed, and that'll do it. 2 quarters in, and it's the Mustangs closing the half on a 15-6 run, and they take a 25-23 lead going into halftime. You are watching. Dusty Litzer with you here at American Fork. Hope you enjoy the call. As we'll start with Mountain Crest with a 2-point lead. We mentioned at the end a 15-6 run to close out the half. Schwab's pass nearly picked off. Dunston down the lane and lays it up and in. Probably Dawson, not Dunston. Apologize. 3's all the way at the bottom of our roster here. So that is Dawson with the bucket. 27-23. Here's Benji Judd. Now Condi. Nice high-low. And it crawls in. That was Jake Whitehead with the bucket. Schwab. Now DeMooney. Saddle with foul trouble. Swatted by Johnson. Schwab has it. We got a jump ball. Possession arrow goes with the Cavemen. Up the floor with Braden Condi. Young man been starting since he was a sophomore as well. Bailey, jump it, back rim. Rebound, taken by Brenchley. Brenchley on the push. Whitehead giving chase. To the rack, can't finish. DeMooney was fighting with his own teammate, Kai Nethercott, who gets the bucket. And it's 29-25. Johnson will jump it. And it's Brenchley with the board. Brenchley, send out. Schwab. Leaves it short. Rebound taken by Bailey. Bailey travels and turns his ankle, possibly in the process. Turnover, and we will go with Mountain Crest. Up the floor, Brenchley and the Mustangs looking to increase this lead. Coach Buckmiller got to be pleased the way his team has played. We'll stay here with the Mustangs. Brenchley splits a double team, gets to the hole, can't finish. Rebound taken by Johnson. Condi, transition 3. Bailey with the board. Can't stick the putback. Whitehead to Condi, up top to Bailey. Bailey driving hard. Nethercott stays right there and knocks the ball loose. Back down the floor with the Mustangs. Schwab. Errant pass picked off by Braden Condi, and we got a timeout taken by American Fork. So timeout, Coach Meacham, 5:19 remaining in the third quarter. Out of the timeout, Cavemen looking to cut into this deficit, trailing by 4. Whitehead now to Condi in the corner to Spencer Johnson. Johnson tried to get into Bailey, and that ball picked off by Dawson. Dawson on the push. Too sharp of a pass to Schwab. And the Mustangs keep missing opportunities to increase their lead, and will go the other way with American Fork. Inside of 5 minutes remaining in the third. Judd, cross court to Condi. Condi now to Judd. Johnson working along the baseline, stepped out of bounds, and we will go the other way with Mountain Crest. Of course, the winner of this game will play tomorrow against the winner of Layton and Copper Hills. Our nightcap tonight. Dawson inside out to Schwab. Schwab goes right at Condi, can't finish. Bailey with the board. Whitehead, oh, nice wrap around to Judd, pardon me. He does the flyby, and it's a follow-up by Spencer Johnson. And it's now a 2-point game. There's a turnover. Bailey in the corner. Condi. Give it up to Bailey. Brandon has the ball slapped away. Schwab send ahead. Condi giving chase. And it's going to be Brenchley laying up and in. Coach Meacham has a point. He wanted a traveling violation. You cannot be sliding on the floor with control of the ball, but no call on it. And it's now 31-27. The ball out of bounds, and will stay with the Cavemen. Inbound to Johnson. Johnson gets Dawson off his feet, draws the foul. It'll be Spencer Johnson heading to the line. First team foul of the second half. A welcome sight with 3:43 remaining in the third quarter. Got the first and the second, rattles out. Dawson will bring it up the floor, give it up to Walentine. Walentine, and that ball's kicked, and we'll stay here. Walentine can't get the three off the inbound. Schwab trying to get a foul call and travels in the process. Coach Buckmiller kind of beside himself. I'm shameless in my plugs of my alma mater. In the corner, three from Bailey. Brenchley with the board. And Johnson, there he slapped that one away. Outside to Tanner Schwab. Schwab trying to get that ball into DeMooney. Nice defense from Johnson. And now a foul on DeMooney. Fouls on DeMooney on the loose ball. That's the second team foul on Mountain Crest, and I believe that's the third foul on Alani DeMooney. And Judd hanging outside as the third personal foul on DeMooney. Johnson along the baseline. Johnson sent out to Judd. Had Brimhall on the key. Bailey. The lid stays on as Johnson gets the putback. And it's now a 1-point game, 31-30 after the Johnson putback. Bailey still yet to get on the board. Brenchley. Schwab, there's a foul away from the ball. Inbound underneath. And we went a long time without whistles. And in a very short period, we've got 3 foul calls. Jensen gets it back off the inbound. Now over to Brenchley. Being hounded by Benji Judd. Jensen. Up top, Brenchley. Jensen thought about 3 and hangs on. On the angle. Now to the corner to Jensen. Trying to find some space. And that ball picked off. Baited him right into it. Worked perfectly. Here comes Brimhall. Now Johnson. Tried the lane. Float it. No. Rebound to Brimhall. Can't get it to go. Thought he'd get the foul call. No, nothing there. And now a swat by Johnson. Tracked down by Brimhall. Saved in. Brimhall was on the floor on one end of the floor. Saves it in on the other. Judd can't get it to go. No call. And out of bounds off of Dawson, who was standing out of bounds when the ball hit him. And we'll stay here. something just very little will draw a whistle. Never understand it. Here's Johnson, having himself a third quarter. Spencer out to Judd, nearly picked off by Brenchley. Hucks thought about three, stays on. Now Bailey. Bailey again, and now finds the bottom of the bucket. Brendan Bailey puts the Cavemen ahead for the first time since they led 17-15. Picked off by Johnson. Johnson got Brenchley on his hip and lays it in.
Steal and lay-in by Spencer Johnson.
A ripping bucket for Johnson, and it's 34-31. 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Jensen draws a foul on Hucks on the floor. That's his second team foul against the Cavemen. 26 seconds remaining in the third. Jensen to trigger the inbound. Here Dawson hands back to Jensen. Nice defense by George Brimhall. He may not do a lot of things, but he gives you a ton of effort. Brimhall with the steal and then gets the timeout. It's Cavemen ball with 17.9 remaining in the third quarter. End of the third quarter, 15 seconds remaining. Condi will bring it up the floor. Cavemen looking to extend this three-point lead. 10 seconds. Here's Johnson. Nice job of Wallenstein hedging him. Falls to the ground. Johnson for three and one. Look at a foul away from the ball. No. They got a foul under the bucket. Count the bucket. The foul's on Brimhall. So it's 37-31 on the bucket from Spencer Johnson. But it's a foul on Brimhall. It's the third team foul, the third on Brimhall. 4.3 remaining in the third quarter. Dawson. Got to get it in and does to Smith. 2 seconds. 1 second to count. If it goes, it'll be well short. Terrific close to the third quarter. Spencer Johnson gets it going. Brendan Bailey finally gets on the board, and it's 37-31. American Fork leading Mountain Crest. Start of the fourth quarter. It's a 6-point lead for American Fork. Spencer Johnson getting things done in the third. Mountain Crest had a hard time getting buckets as the defense has been amped up by the Cavemen. As I say that, Tanner Schwab, one of the more clutch athletes in the state of Utah, banks in a bucket, and it's 37-33. Here's Hucks. Now Condi. Condi terminates to Hucks. And saved in. Nice job by Whitehead. Thought that might be a turnover. Whitehead along the baseline. Send out Johnson. Schwab all over it. Brenchley. He's got Bailey and Johnson. He gets a past Bailey. And a bucket. Coach Buckmiller beside himself. He wanted a +1. Didn't get it. Here's Whitehead. Cross court Hucks. Can't hang on. And we'll go back to Mountain Crest. 7 minutes, 1 minute in to the fourth quarter. We got a good one for you. Brenchley. Send out to Wallenstein. Wallenstein terminates, hanging. Finally kicks out to Brenchley. Brenchley working on Whitehead. Gets him off his feet, gets inside him. Thought he'd get a call, didn't. Gets his own board and is fouled on the rebound. That is the fourth team foul on American Fork. Schwab inbound. Three from Smith. Doesn't find the bottom. Condi picked off by Brenchley. Brenchley splits the defense and can't get it to fall. They'll call it on the floor. Goes against Condi, and that's the 15th foul on American Fork. Smith gets into Brenchley. Working on Hucks. Brenchley up top, Smith. Over to Wallenstein. Johnson went off of Spencer Johnson. Will stay here. Thought maybe he saved it, but couldn't quite get it done. Wallenstein into Schwab. Schwab working on Condi. Off the screen of Damouni. Damouni. Gotta be careful of 3 seconds. And we got a foul on the pass. I'll go against Whitehead. That is now the 16th foul on the Cavemen. Dawson to trigger. He had Schwab, didn't get it to him. Gets into Brenchley. Brenchley working on Hucks. Now trade switches off to Condi. Here's Schwab. Now Brenchley trying to find somebody open. And we got a timeout taken by Coach Buckmiller. 5:49 made the fourth quarter. 37-35 the lead for American Fork. Out of the timeout. Mountain Crest looking to tie or take the lead. Brenchley over to Schwab. Got an open Dawson. Now looking for a shot. That ball out of bounds off of Whitehead. And will stay with the Mustangs. Lob into Brenchley. Wallenstein send out Dawson. And it won't go. Schwab with the board. And we're tied and one. Tanner Schwab. Smallest guy down low comes away with the board. Gets the hoop and the harm. And he'll give it Mountain Crest an opportunity to take the lead. And the free throw. It rattled out. It rattled around. Then it fell in. 38-37. And a three-point play for Mountain Crest. Down the floor with the Cavemen. Hucks gives it up to Johnson. And that ball nearly picked off by Schwab. Here's Benji Judd. Send out to Hucks. Down the corner to Johnson. Now Hucks. 5:05 remaining in the fourth. Hucks now to Bailey. Bailey, follow away, Jay. Knocked down his last two. And American Fork reclaims the lead, 39-38. Brenchley on the angle to Schwab, cross court. Here's Dawson. Now Brenchley, 1-3-1 being employed by AF. Switching things up, first time we've seen him out of a 2-3. Brenchley cross court to Schwab. Find inside to Wallenstein reverses and scores. And it's now back 40-39 in favor of Mountain Crest. Hucks drop inside Bailey. Can't get it to go, and a rebound taken by Brenchley. Jackson in the lane. And we have a foul before the pass. So no bucket. And it'll be one-on-one free throws for Jackson Brenchley. Brenchley misses the front end, a one-on-one. Missed opportunity there for the Mountain Crest Mustangs. Johnson to Judd with the flyby. Judd floated off the window, and it crawls in. Well done by Benji Judd. And now back to 1 point lead for the American Fork Cavemen. 3:40 on a rolling clock in the fourth quarter. Wallenstein gets Johnson off his feet, can't finish. Out of bounds as Johnson and Bailey fought over the board. Will stay here. Schwab the trigger. Try to force it into Dawson. Turnover, and we'll go the other way. Condi gets back on the floor as Hucks takes his seat. Cavemen with a chance to extend the lead. 41-40, 3:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. Been a back and forth affair. Judd, near side to Johnson. Been quiet in the fourth quarter. Bailey jump it. Off the mark, Johnson with another board. And Johnson is fouled on the rebound. He'll go to the line to shoot 1-1. I think I got it right, got him on the floor. Here's Brimhall. Drop it into Bailey. Bailey, he's now got 6 points. 43-40, 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Brendan Bailey is hit 3 of his last 4 shots. That ball picked off. Schwab gets on the floor. Don't know how he didn't lose the wind. Get the wind knocked out of him. He roll on top of the basketball. That doesn't feel very good. Got the first. Now to get us to an alternating change here. Then the second rattles out. Rebound still loose, saved in by Nethercutt. Wallentyne ties this up at 43. You have got to have guys doing the little things, and it's Kai Nethercutt. Gets the board, saves it into Wallentyne, who gets the bucket. 2:46 remaining. We are tied up at 43. Timeout taken by Coach Grady Buckmiller. 43 all. 2:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Condi to Judd. I mentioned it was the big play by Kai Nethercutt. Get the board and then the assist off the missed free throw. Here's Condi. Condi back to Judd, now Spencer Johnson. 2:15 now remaining in the fourth quarter. Condi for three. In and out, tipped up and in. Who else? Spencer Johnson with the putback. He's been doing this for 3 years, if you haven't been following Utah high school basketball. Up top to Brenchley, trailing by 2. Brenchley, Perro in the lane, stripped away by Brimhall. Brimhall with the loose ball in the hands of Johnson. Johnson with Schwab giving chase, can't finish. Rebound to Bailey. Bailey goes up and scores. Back-to-back possessions, Division I basketball players making plays, and it's 47-43. 1:25 on a rolling clock. Down to 1:20. Brenchley takes a bump, and count the bucket. No, he'll go to the line for 1 and 1. Got the first. And the second, 47-45. 1:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter. 5 is only going to mean that we're going to take this thing down. Remember, no shot clock in high school basketball. They can take this thing all the way down. We'll see what Coach Beecham is going to do. Judd to the lane and lays it in.
That one's good.
And then we got a foul by Braden Condi. Not sure what he was thinking, pressuring the ball like that up 2. It'll be 2 free throws. The first good from Tanner Schwab. This to make it a 2-point game. And he gets it. 49-47. 57 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. 2-on-2 press. Schwab is called for the foul, and it's the 15th foul on the Mustangs. Have 2 more to give. Spencer Johnson working on Brenchley. And now the foul on Brenchley. It'll put Johnson in line to shoot 2. And now they had the one to give. Will be bonus free throws with everything going on remaining for the rest of the game. 46 seconds remaining. Here's Judd. Judd along the baseline. Judd now fouled by Jensen. It'll be Benji Judd at the line. 2-point lead for American Fork with 41 seconds remaining. Judd front end of 1-on-1, rolls off. Rebound taken by Dawson. A chance to tie or take the lead. Here's Tanner Schwab. Schwab draws a foul. It'll be 2 free throws. Whitehead fell to the floor on the crossover. Fouls Tanner Schwab. It'll be Schwab at the line with down 2 with 34.6 seconds remaining in the fourth. Schwab gets his second, splits it. 49-48, 34.6 remaining in the fourth quarter. Bailey to trigger. Bailey gets it into Johnson. And the foul to Brenchley. 51-48 with 32 seconds remaining. Mountain Crest trails American Fork. And we had some clock issues. Up the floor now with Brenchley. Inside at 30 seconds remaining, trailing by 3. Remember the camp, you just need you have another 1-on-1 free throw. Don't need the 3 here. Brenchley. Heart of the hole. Send out. Nethercutt got to get rid of it. Timeout taken by Coach Buckmiller. 14.9 remaining. Dawson to trigger. Picked off by Johnson. Picked off by Spencer Johnson. Johnson will go to the line looking to ice this thing away. But remember, it's still 1-1. So Spencer Johnson, the front end, back rimmed. DeMooney had the board, lost it, ball still loose, picked up by Dawson. 10 seconds remaining. Dawson, timeout taken by Grady Buckmiller. 9.1 remaining. Dawson gets into Brenchley, and Brenchley fouled by Brimhall. Great decision by Coach Meacham. Brenchley hits them both. Bailey into Whitehead. And it'll be 2 free throws coming the way of Jake Whitehead. 5.9 remaining in the fourth quarter. Dawson tries to get into Mooney. The ball still loose. Tracked down by Brenchley, but he couldn't get to it. We'll bring the ball all the way to the other end of the floor. Bailey to trigger. No timeouts for either side. Bailey inbounds the backcourt to Benji Judd. Judd has it. Judd's fouled. It'll be 2 free throws. And he gets the second. That'll do it. Inbound, nearly picked off. It'll count if it goes. And that will do it.
And that's the game. The Cavemen take it 54.
The Cavemen avenge a first-round loss last year's Utah Elite 8. And they get a tough, hard-fought win, 54-50 over Mountain Crest. Fun game between American Fork and Mountain Crest, and it's a 54-50 win. AF will move on. And we'll play the winner of Copper Hills and Layton. Stay tuned for our post-game wrap-up and our high school rewind, player of the game. Welcome back. Again, our final score. American Fork getting a big win, 54-50 over Mountain Crest. And you look at this game, it really was turning points a couple of places in this ball game. But American Fork, it was Spencer Johnson in the third quarter that got things going. You look like Mountain Crest had opportunities to spread this game out. Missed some free throws, missed opportunities. But Spencer Johnson with 31 points tonight really took American Fork on his back and got the job done. He is our high school rewind player of the game, and really was just an outstanding game. I thought Mountain Crest played very, very well. This just showed well for them. Moving into 5A, they're in Region 1. The chance to do lots of good things. Jackson Brenchley is absolutely outstanding. Saw Wallenstein played well. You had Nethercott guys who played, did a good job. Tanner Schwab had a nice game. But for Coach Grady Buckmiller, just did not have enough when he got a guy like Brendan Bailey, who got going in the fourth quarter, hit 3 of 4 shots down the stretch. But Spencer Johnson was a difference maker. He's done it for 3 years now. And again, he's our high school rewind player of the game. Again, our final score, American Fork 54, Mountain Crest Mustangs 50. American Fork will move on to be in the winner bracket here in Utah Elite 8. And again, we'll hope you continue to join us and follow us as we bring in you 12 games here at Utah Elite 8. For Vince Francis, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and watching high school rewinds coverage of the 2015 Utah Elite 8 basketball tournament.